Yo, so I just did it. I just hit record. There's no going back now. There's no going back. Well, I suppose I could just not upload it, right? But I hit record. Oh, baby, I hit record. Oh, baby. Okay. I've never done anything like this before, really. So, just understand. Okay. What is going on here? What is actually going on? This is the Falc channel. This is a channel that I launched a little while ago. And, I assume if you're here, you probably know who I am, but maybe I shouldn't assume that. Just like if YouTube's recommending this to you, you probably know, but maybe you don't. I am a dude, okay? And there's a channel called Red Falcon. I do that. All that. I spend a lot of time on that. I spend time on other things in my personal life, but I spend a lot of time on that. And this is another channel. This is a second channel, you could call it, that I came out with a few years ago. I wanted to just experiment with doing different things. Before the Red Falcon channel, I had another channel, and it's always been me playing games and now it's evolved into something else, which is game challenges, testing the limits of games. And I love that. I still do to this day, which is fascinating. But obviously, you do something for so long. For me, it's been 13 years. That's like almost half my lifetime. And, you kind of get curious about doing other things and dibble-dabbling into different areas of content. Most other things don't really excite me that much. I'm like, okay, you guys do this sort of content. I'm going to chill here in my corner and do what I do decently well and just focus on that. But when I launched this channel, I was like, maybe I could do React style content. That was becoming big. And I thought that I could actually be pretty good at it. I'm not like, a masterful or like a really great special personality, I don't think. But I would say like one of my strengths is my energy, if you could like put it that way. Like I usually have a pretty positive, good vibe, I would say. Smiling, laughing, all that kind of stuff. And, obviously a lot of that is like something that I've been blessed with for sure. Another part of that is just knowing, like, just being conscious of like how your content affects people. That's something that I think about a lot, and I have thought about a lot, is like, okay, you're putting yourself in front of another person, and human beings are crazy. They're super smart. They're watching your facial reactions and the tone of your voice and all that all the time, constantly, whether it's conscious or subconscious. So I almost feel like, I probably shouldn't feel this way, but I almost feel like a responsibility to be positive and like be a good influence, so that when you're watching one of the videos, you come away from it better than before. You come away from it having smiled, laughed, all that good stuff that we love. So yeah, it's it's part how I am, but part, something that I try to always do. And it can be tough because you don't want to do it in like a disingenuous way. That was a trend on YouTube for a while, where you would just speak really loud, and people still do it. Speak really loud, speak with a ton of enthusiasm, but like I said, it's going back to, it's like people are smart. They can figure that out. Maybe if they're young, they won't, but most people can pick up on the fact that you're forcing it. So it's really just about like digging deep down. It's kind of a science. It's digging deep down and bringing out the realness as much as you possibly can, if that makes sense. Bringing out as much joy, happiness, all that good energy and projecting it without trying to, fake it and make it and fabricate it out of nothing. Does that make sense? So I think what I thought was, okay, let's try to do React because it's easy to do. Let's be honest. I could stay focused on Red Falcon channel. That's my main thing. It probably always will be. That's how I make a living. That's how I have a team. It almost just feels like that's my purpose, right? Clearly people fuck with that. I guess I could swear on here, but you know what I'm saying. So I don't have to spend a ton of time. Well, that's what I thought. And so anyway, I launched the channel. I was like, let me just, good vibes. Let's watch like funny stuff and like whatever, and let's just have a good time. That was fun. I did enjoy doing it. At a certain point, though, I just sort of started focusing on other things and putting more of my time into the main channel, and it sort of faded away a little bit. It's tough too. You got to pay an editor, and you're not making really anything. That's kind of a hard part about it. And obviously, time is money. Like everybody knows that. That's like one thing about me is I just value my time so much. So at a certain point, that's life. Like you just have to weigh what is most important use of your time at all times. And yeah, I mean, it can be sort of stressful, sort of crazy. Some people don't have that outlook, which I admire. Some people don't value their time as much, and they're just along for the ride, which I think is really cool. I am not totally that way. I mean, there are times where I can be that way, in a sense of like within these few hours or within this day, within this Sunday or something, but overall, I'm very conscious of, I'm here for a reason. I'm trying to fucking do shit. I'm only gonna live for so long, so I can't just be like wasting time. So anyway, I hope that makes sense and helps you understand like why I'm here. Like this is actually something that's kind of valuable to me. I'm not just wasting time, and I will never ever, hopefully ever try to do that to any of you guys that are listening, if anybody is listening. So at the end of the day, it just wasn't really for me, the React style stuff. But that being said, this channel still exists. It's still a channel that I promoted a little bit on my main channel. Obviously my main channel audience is probably way different now because that's kind of how YouTube works. People cycle into who they watch and who they don't. Some stay for a long time, and that might be you. But it cycles often. So some people watching or listening to this are probably like, what the hell? Like, who even is this? I forget. I don't know. But some might know, right? Some might know. So I still have this. And so the reason I started and hit record, and my attitude was kind of like, all right, like I hit record. That's just because like it's just something. This is something that I've thought about for, at least a few months of like, I don't know what we want to call this, and I don't know what it's going to be, but I think it could be something. You could call it a podcast. That's what people call a lot of the time, like when somebody gets on and just talks. I don't know if I will call it that. Maybe I will. Should we call it that? I don't know. But I think this could be something really cool. I could be wrong, and this could never go up, or it could go up and I could never do another one of these again. But there's something that's pulling me towards doing this. I don't know what it is, it's weird how that works sometimes. How, like, even when I just started in 2010, 2011, started making content, I don't know what drove me to do it. You know, we get these ideas in our head and they just pull us in certain directions, and you really don't know. You can't explain why or how, or, you know, I want to get this out of it, you know, whatever. No. Honestly, I kind of want to help with this. Like, I don't want this to be really for me. I don't think it needs to be for me. Maybe that's part of it. I don't think I would have hopped on here if, you know, it wasn't for me at all. And maybe helping people in turn helps me, right? I don't know. Maybe that's where I'm going with this. But I don't know. And perhaps it's hubris to think that, like, I could get on a microphone and talk and people will listen and people will get something out of it. But there's something in me that thinks that. I've never been short of, like, self-confidence. I'm always, you know, I've been pretty good at that. You know, it maybe can be a fault at times, I guess. But I think it's a superpower in a way to really believe in yourself and really think, like, oh, I could maybe do anything. I don't believe that. I don't think I could do anything. I think there's a ton of things that I can't do. But you get what I'm saying. If you put your mind to it, there's a lot of things you really could do. So I think that in some way, doing this and talking here could potentially be helpful to you guys. Like, if I think about, like, you know, they have that saying that's like, you are the sum of, like, the 5 people that you're around a lot, or whatever the hell that saying is. I mean, I don't think you're the sum of that, but, like, there's certainly something to that, obviously. You notice, like, when you're hanging around certain people and they bring, you know, a certain part of you out, or when you're hanging around different people, they bring a better part of you out. That is so true. And I find, like, I spend a decent amount of time, like, just listening to podcasts. I'm not loyal to any certain ones really, but I just, like, I like listening to conversations with people that are interesting and that maybe I could get something from, and something they say can resonate and make things, you know, easier, better for me in a certain way, or subconsciously. You know, you really never know, right? So I think it's possible that I could be that. And I don't know if I'm harping on this at all, but I think it's possible that I could be that. I'm very young, I would say, to really come across as, like, wise in any way. So I don't want to make that impression. There's still so much that I haven't learned and that I never will learn. But at the same time, there might be something about going on that journey a little bit together. You know, there might be something about that, and that you don't have to be necessarily perfect or, you know, a wizard in some way to have, like, a show like this or talk like this to people. And I do think there are things that I do know, namely about being a content creator on YouTube. So that's, like, something that I would be happy to talk about. I think we live in an age where not everybody, but, you know, most people and their mother, maybe not their mother, maybe their cousin or their sister, want to be content creators. It's like a very, very popular thing. And having done it for so long, dude, there's so many things that I've learned, and so many mistakes that I've made, and so many things that I could tell people to, you know, do that. Maybe think about doing this, or maybe, don't kill yourself and make and work all the time. And, there's just a million different things that I've gone through. Like, it can be really difficult. And I've been through stages where I felt super burnt out and like, I don't want to do this anymore. And nothing really that seriously bad. I don't want to say that. But I could see it happening to other people all the time. And so if that's how I'm useful, then so be it. If it's somebody who is maybe like a voice or just somebody that helps content creators, then I'm all for that. I don't know if I have any expertise on anything else, to be completely honest with you. I'm pretty clueless about a lot of things, like I said. I'm pretty good at being a content creator and learning. I've learned so much about, how to not run yourself into the ground, like I said, but, how to make good stuff and stuff that people mess with, and stuff that, subsequently the algorithm will mess with as well, which people love to say. That's obviously a buzzword that people love, the algorithm. Like, how do the algorithm, how do I do this? Like, how do I get in the algorithm? That's stuff that I could definitely share that I think is really valuable. That might be my biggest strength. And then, yeah, I mean, other things, like I said, are like, I have pretty good energy. I have a pretty damn optimistic outlook on things. I can be confident, and I could maybe teach people about that and help them in that way if they're struggling with that. 17 minutes, and I made the first cut right there. I might just edit this myself. The thing is, like, I don't think this is going to do well, like, at all. It's not formatted in a way where there's alternate camera angles or visuals on screen that, keep you engaged, that are like things that you should do. I don't know what I'm even going to title it. I don't know I don't think this is going to do well at all. That's not really my point at all. That's how my brain has been wired for so long. Like, make something with a catchy title, thumbnail, like a topic that people are interested in. And then once they're there, entertain the hell out of them, make them enjoy it, make their lives better for watching it. And, eventually maybe they'll come back and you have something there. So I might be able to do some of those parts with this, but I don't know if I see myself spending so much time on it that I'm going to be working with editors and, putting fancy graphics on the screen and doing all that stuff. So, I mean, I guess we'll just see. We'll just throw this at the wall and see what happens. I'm sure there will be, I'm not sure, but I hope that there will be a few people who mess with this. I think there will be, hopefully. If not, then we're chill, It's like, we just had a little session here. Maybe I'll see you in a few years. But if there are people that mess with it, maybe I'll see you in a week or something like that. I don't know. This is like the first episode. I don't know. Like, is it an episode? But, like, I mean, I want to know. First of all, I mean, the first of anything is always, that's always exciting. We love that. Like, that is the, like, I was thinking about doing this, thinking about not doing it, but I was like, dude, you can make the first episode of this and maybe it becomes something one day, and that'd be so cool to look back on. But yeah, I want to kind of open it up to you guys a little bit, and if you're watching this still now, like, let's start by just like throwing some stuff in the comments. Like, say something. Just say something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's on your mind? Like, what do you have any I guess, do you have any questions? Like, do you have any questions for me? Specifically, like, I would say less about like the personal stuff. I'm somebody who keeps like my personal life pretty private. That's kind of my boundary, but I would say like more so about maybe my other channel like Red Falcon, or about creating content in general. What is it like? Maybe, hey, I have a channel that does this. Like, how can I, do better? Or I tried this, and stuff like that. Questions that maybe my brain can hopefully, help you with. Because I think that could be of value. I think my brain is very interesting, and as I'm sure yours is too. And there's a lot of whatever in there, but there is some, like I said, about, making content. There is some valuable stuff in there, I think. So maybe if you want to try to tap into that business, marketing, stuff that, I went to school for, that I'm pretty good at, go for it. Shoot it. Shoot your shot in the comment, and I think I'll come back if there's any good ones, and I'll just answer them. Like, I'll put them on like the screen somewhere, and that'll be a prompt for me to talk. So that's an option. I want you guys to, like, what can you get from this? And maybe I can help in that way. I don't know. Like, part of me is like, I can help. Part of me is like, oh, I can help content creators. I can help, people that are interested in content marketing. Maybe that's their job. Maybe they work for a company and do that. And maybe they're thinking about getting into it, but they haven't. All that stuff. And then another part of me is like, your audience is like, what is the percentage of people that do that? Like 1, like 2%. So I don't know. So like, I guess I'm just curious, like what I could do, and I just want to throw this up there and see what happens. I'm curious. Like, I think there's something about that. I think there's something about just like trying something, I find that I've just been doing something similar for a long time, and I've found ways to kind of innovate and adapt and evolve in ways that keep it exciting and fun for me and for my audience. So I'm not really, this is not to say like, oh, I'm sick of that other stuff, I want to do this now. It's not to say that at all. It's just to say that, like, you do something for a while and you want to try something else. It's just like, it's kind of in you as a human. I feel like we should all really think about that a little more and bring, exciting, it adds some excitement to your life. I think we should try, especially when you're young. You can make kind of wild decisions as long as they're not really dangerous. You can take risks. You can do things. You could try to start making content. You could try to start a small business. You can try this creative, artistic job that you don't know if it's going to completely work out or not. You can do that kind of stuff. When you're younger, you seem to have a lot less responsibility, I think, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like as you get older, it just becomes harder and harder to just put yourself out there and try new things. And so that's sort of what I'm doing now. Not saying that it's gonna get too late at any point, because it's never really too late. It just gets harder. Okay, so I said I'm always gonna be conscious of your guys' time. I think we'll probably wrap it up soon. I just want to say thanks for listening. If you are somebody who makes content, maybe on YouTube, maybe on TikTok, whatever, I would keep it locked. Honestly, I think I can help. If you are somebody that doesn't do that, that is just kind of like interested in me, I guess, I don't know why, sure, you could keep it locked. I don't know. Like, maybe it's entertaining for you. Sure. I will always try to be entertaining. If you're just someone who likes good vibes and is just like along for the ride, then sure. Also, keep it locked. Let's go. Like, I feel like this is going to be really fun. But yeah, I mean, even if you're none of those things and something is telling you to keep listening, I'm here for you. I am here for you. And thank you. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. If you're still here and you're listening, I really do love you and appreciate you. And I'm excited to see what you have to say, and maybe I'll see you in the next one. Go Celtics tonight. We're going to sweep. Peace.